Your teacher, and today we are going to learn water. Okay, so first of all, let's come to terms to know. Groundwater, the rainwater that gets collected under the ground. Okay, this is known as groundwater. Next, the water table, the level of water under the ground is known as water table. Now, water table varies from place to place. In desert, you have less water tables, and in forest areas, you have more water tables. Next, you have the whale water, the pool of water that is obtained by digging the soil till it reaches its impervious layer. Now, what is impervious layer? I'll teach you later on. In this video only I'll teach you, but I'll teach you later on. Let's finish the terms to know. Next, spring water, the water which comes out with pressure in the form of spring from any opening on the earth is known as spring water. So, there are certain openings on the earth from which groundwater pokes out and they form springs. Okay. Next we have the water cycle, the continuous circulation of water from the earth back to the atmosphere and back again. Okay. So this continuous cycle is known as water cycle. You have heard this term in your junior classes, but also today also I will just show you once more. Okay. Next you have the solute. Now you know very clearly solute plus solvent equals solution. You know this very well. Okay. So solute plus solvent equal to solution. So what can solution be defined as? A uniform or homogeneous mixture of a solute and a solvent. You know what is a homogeneous mixture? The mixture in which everything is distributed. Now mixtures are of two types. Okay. Homogeneous and heterogeneous. Okay, now what are these two types of? First of all, homogeneous is of like a mixture which in which every suppose take for example salt water. Okay, there's you can't see the salt particles distinctly, and in mud water you can see the mud particles distinctly, right? So in which the component cannot be seen distinctly. Okay, that's called a homogeneous mixture. In which the components can be seen distinctly is known as a heterogeneous mixture. So it's a homogeneous mixture of a solute and a solvent. Okay. Now what is a solute? The substance that gets dissolved in a liquid is a solute. So let me take the example of sugar water. Here sugar is the solute, and solvent, the liquid that is dissolved the solute. Obviously you know water, and the solution is sugar solution. Okay. Now another thing. Now what is a saturated solution? A solution which cannot dissolve any more of a solute at a particular temperature. Okay. Now you will see that when you dissolve water, suppose you are dissolving salt in water, you are dissolving until a certain time, and then you can see that the salt and and that is known as when you can mix more and more solute. You will see that it is taking more and more solute you are mixing, and the liquid grows denser and denser. Okay, this is known as unsaturated solution, a solution which can dissolve more of a solute at a particular time. Now a time will come when the limit will stop. Okay, so when everything has a limit, right? When the limit will come, then it will be known as a saturated solution. That means in that time you will see that the salt is falling down below the glass. Okay, you will see that the salt is now you are mixing the salt. You will see some salts are falling down in the bottom of the glass. Okay, at a particular temperature. Now if you are heating that, then obviously it will dissolve more and more because you have learnt expansion, right? Supersaturated, a solution which contains more solute than it can dissolve in the solvent under normal conditions. Now see very carefully, listen very carefully. Okay, salt is falling down, but you have to mix more and more salt in your water. That's the task given to you. What will you do? You know the property of expansion, right? Why does saturated solution occur? First of all, let me tell you. Saturated solution occurs because of the water. In water you can see the molecules are packed like this in water. Okay, let me draw. In water molecules are packed like this. Okay, one is attached, another is not attached. Okay, liquid, it's a Now in this intermolecular spaces, the salt particles take place. Okay, sorry, just wait. In this intermolecular spaces, the salt particle takes place, and when this whole thing is filled up, then what happens? Bottom there is space, salt particles start falling. Okay, when there is no space over here, everything is covered up, then what happens? Salt particle starts falling. And now when you heat this, and you are heating this, okay, now what will happen? In the next diagram, just see what will happen. The molecules will gain more and more energy, and they will move apart from each other. Intermolecular forces will break. They will go apart from each other. More and more space is being created. So what happens? Now what happens? The salt particles. Sorry. Now what happens? Now the salt particles can come over here. Right? Okay. This type of mixture is known as a supersaturated solution. That means what? It is containing more and more solute than it can contain in normal conditions, right? Next we have potable water. Water that is fit for consumption is called potable water. If you do not drink potable water, then you will fall ill. Okay, because water also contains many kind of germs. Next, filtrate, the liquid that passes through a filter paper. I have already told you what is the meaning of filtrate in the last video. Residue, I have shown you this very clearly in nature of matter video. No, sorry, elements, compounds and mixtures video. Okay. The particulate impurities which remain on the filter paper. Loading, the addition of chemicals to increase the rate of sedimentation. So, adding of chemicals to increase the rate of sedimentation means loading. That means alum is added to water to increase the rate of sedimentation. What does alum do? Alum makes the mud particles more heavier and they settle down faster. Okay, so thus rate of sedimentation is increased. Next, chlorination. The process of adding chlorine to water is known as whenever you add chlorine to water, chlorination occurs. This is only a mixture. This is not any kind of compound. Am I clear? This is only a mixture for the purification of water. Okay. Next is we have the water pollution, the contamination of water by unwanted and harmful substances that cause harmful effects to living and non-living things. You are polluting the water and you are also risking the lives of the fish. Okay. You are even risking your own life. People are risking themselves because village people, they eat, drink, everything they do from there. They cook also with that kind of water only, and then you have epidemics and etc. Okay. Earlier days you used to have, but now very rare. Okay. So whenever you add harmful components or unwanted components to water, you are infecting water and you are infecting yourselves. Okay. Is it clear to you? So don't do this. Okay. Always you must purify the waste before you throw it on water. Okay. Because we can't prevent waste ourselves, right? Now, I have told you that I'll explain you that process. See very carefully. I'll see if there is an infographs. If they have given an infographs, then it's okay. And if there is not given, I'll explain it. Now, water is essential for life. You all know that. Now, the major source of water can be divided into three types. One is the groundwater, surface water, groundwater. I told you about this. Water exists in three states. You have learnt in yesterday's video: solids, liquids, and gases. Okay. Now, water. Now, in what form? In solid, you have ice. In liquid, you have water, and in gas, you have water vapor. These three change can be interchanged by changing the temperature, cooling or heating. I have already told you. Water is an integral component of all living bodies. It is also needed for other purposes. Instead of drinking, it is also needed for other various other purposes. Okay, many other purposes. Now, the density of water is maximum at 4 degrees Celsius. This is known as anomalous expansion. Okay, anomalous expansion. What happens? Water has an abnormal property. all substances expand on heating and contract on cooling. Okay, so water has such a property that from 0 to 4 degrees Celsius it contracts rather than expanding. And what is density? Density means as the volume will decrease, the density will also increase. Okay, then contracts mean what happens? The volume is decreasing, so the density is increasing, and at 4 degrees Celsius we have the maximum density of water, which is 1 gram per centimeter cube. I don't know whether you have learnt about density in the physics or not, or whether there is in class 7 or not. Okay. Water is known as universal solvent as it can dissolve a large number of substances in it. Okay. Almost all substances are dissolved in water, so it is known as the universal solvent. Very, very important this point is. Formation of solution depends on stirring, particle size of the solute and the temperature. Temperature and particle size I told you how. Stirring means you are breaking the intermolecular forces and joining another. So whenever you are stirring, more and more solute get dissolved. Okay, that's why we stir. Tea, coffee, everything we stir and then we put to serve. Next, on the basis of the ability of the solution to dissolve the solute, there are 3 types of solutions: saturated, unsaturated and supersaturated. I told you a very, very interesting story also about this. Potable water should be colorless. These are the 3 factors for potable water: colorless, odorless and transparent, because these are the natural properties of water. Okay, not tasteless. Please remember, please do not drink distilled water, it's tasteless. Potable water should have a taste because minerals are dissolved over there. It should have sufficient amount of dissolved salts and oxygen in it, and it should be free from harmful chemicals and microorganisms. Distillation removes everything, salt, oxygen, everything it removes. Pure water, which is tasteless also, is known as distilled water. Okay. Next, consumption of water contaminated with industrial and agriculture waste, the human and animal feces may lead to various waterborne diseases. I told you this waste are leading to various waterborne diseases such as cholera, diarrhea, etc. Purification of water involves the process of removing harmful impurities from the water such as bacteria, undissolved and undissolved solid substances like particles of smart sand, dirt and dead organisms. We know what are they. Okay. So, and they contain some harmful bacteria also, which causes this disease. And if you eat these substances also, if you drink this substance with water, you will also face diseases. Okay. Some common methods used to purify water are sedimentation and decantation, loading, filtration. Loading is actually not a process. Okay, just cross it out. It's just used with sedimentation and decantation. Boiling, chlorination, water purifiers in the RO system, aeration, ozonization and distillation. You know what is sedimentation and decantation? Filtration, you all know what is that. Boiling also you all know. Boiling kills germs and removes. Chlorination means adding of chlorine. Water purifier in the RO system, you have seen in all our water purifiers. In all our water purifiers you have seen, in the RO water purifiers what happens? Reverse osmosis takes place and the water is purified. Aeration is also over there, another process. Ozonization, mixing of ozone gas over there, and distillation. But distilled water cannot be drunk. Okay, this aeration and ozonization also. Water is precious and it need to be conserved. Okay, because many places such as the deserts are facing water crisis. Okay, the major causes of water pollution are the discharge of domestic sewage, dumping of garbage, now please mark them, industrial and agricultural waste, waste from nuclear and thermal power plants, defecation, oil spill and leakage. Oil spill is a several cause. Okay, oil spill, in many seas there are oil spill and many organisms are dying due to this oil spill. Now water pollution can be prevented by installing water treatment plants in industrial areas, by not releasing untreated sewage, agriculture and industrial waste into water bodies, by using eco-friendly household products. Okay, eco-friendly household products will prevent to some extent. Okay, not throwing all this into water bodies, not releasing untreated sewage. If you treat this waste, then nothing will happen. Okay, but Many of them don't do treatment plants in industrial. Water treatment plants should be installed in industrial areas, okay? Flood is caused when it rains heavily or continuously for a number of days. It leads to conditions such as loss of property, death of these are the effects of flood. Death of animals and humans, extensive damage of crops, soil erosion, rise in the water level in dams, rivers, etc., spread of diseases and pollination. When there is a greater extent also there is problem, which is flood, and which there is low extent also there is drought, which is a very, very problematic thing. Drought is a period of abnormally low rain leading to shortage of water. It leads to conditions such as lack of food and drinking water, low groundwater level in lakes, rivers, soil erosion, loss of plants and trees, death of animals, loss of human lives, health problems due to poor quality of water. Okay, so pray that may everything be balanced in nature. Okay, these are all natural disasters. Infographs, just see. Now, gain and loss of water in human beings. Now, see very, very properly. 3 to 4 liters through drinking you have, and you have 0.5 to 1 liters through sweating. Okay. So, the 1 liter through food you gain water, and then you lose 1.5 or 2 liters through urination. 0.25 liter produced in human body, 0.5 liters through exhalation. So, everywhere water is in the form of liquid or solid or not solid cannot exist over there. So, or liquid or gas, you are like exhaling is through water vapor, some certain amount of water vapor you are exhaling through urination, through sweating. There is water loss, okay, in humans, okay. Now, how is water purified in a water filter? Tap water is entered, filtration through candle. Here, filtration takes place. Activated charcoal is put over there, so filtration occurs, and then ultraviolet lamp it occurs, and then purified water it falls. Okay. Rainwater harvesting. Now drinking water in now please see, drinking water inlet, filter it and then drink it. Okay, drink it. Another you send to the pump, to the washing machine. Wash clothes with rainwater harvest. Toilets should be used to rainwater harvest and gardening also. Okay. Distillation, how does distillation occurs? See now very, very carefully. Through the distillation and it removes all minerals in water, and only pure water is it is gained. Okay, and you must not drink pure water. That also I'll tell you why. See, the salt solution is taken over here and the burner is heated, and over there you can see the now through heating all the salt is left behind, and you can see the water is evaporating and it changes into gas in water vapor. Thermometer is kept so that to check the temperature. This is known as the special flask, known as the round bottom flask or the distillation flask. Next, the water vapor is passed to the Liebig's condenser. Now, what does the condenser do? The condenser is cool, and so it condenses the water into liquid form again. Now, in condenser, you have this water out, that is the hot water that is going out, and the cold water that is coming in to keep the condenser, to regulate the temperature of the condenser. Next, there is a tap and water is collected over here in a conical flask. Okay, so this is known as distillation. Now, you don't have to drink distilled water, and you cannot drink also, because whenever you will drink it, now there are many minerals in your body. Distilled water doesn't have any kind of mineral, and water is a universal solvent. So, water will absorb all the minerals and you will face problem then. Okay. Sources of groundwater, very well you know, where hand pump, spring, tubal. I won't have to explain it. Okay, purification of treatment of water through treatment plant. This is from the corporation that is given to us. Water from a source, suppose any river. Okay, then the sedimentation tank, sedimentation is done, filtration is done again, and then chlorination for the purification of water. Okay, chlorine cylinder you can see, and then clean water goes up. Okay, see water pollution to such an extent. My God. Importance of water. What are the importance? You can water plants, you can travel to a houseboat, water transport, river rafting, fire extinguishing, and hydropower generation. Okay. Surface of water, ocean, river, stream. You've seen all this, right? Next, water cycle. Water cycle. Just see now. Now this only I wanted to teach you. Evaporation occurs, and then condensation occurs in the cloud. It goes, and then rain falls, precipitation. Okay, this not evaporation is planned from is known as transpiration. Okay, and then surface water runs off into the ground. Okay, through percolation process. Now here is certain pair of rocks which percolate water, which allow water to pass through them, and here are the pairs of rocks which does not allow water to pass through them. So water stays over this portion. Okay, so water stays over this portion. Okay, so whenever we will dig any kind of well over here, we can easily pour out water for our own use. Okay, thank you everybody. Goodbye.